The sky was dark over the wasteland planet. Winds blew dust across the empty ground. There were no cities, no life, just silence. But under that silence, something old waited. Rek Solas ran across the rocks, breathing hard. He wore a torn black jacket and carried a small energy pistol. His boots kicked up sand as he moved fast, trying not to fall. Behind him, high above in the clouds, a bounty hunter drone searched with red lights. If it found him, it would call others. Rek had no time. He jumped into a crack in the ground and rolled under a stone ledge. His back hit the cold wall. He waited, holding his breath. The drone passed overhead. Its light blinked once, then disappeared into the clouds. Rek stayed still for a few more minutes. Then, he let out a breath and looked around. He was inside a narrow cave. He had not seen it before. Maybe it saved his life, but then he heard something, a low hum, a strange sound, like music from far away. It came from deeper inside the cave. He stood up and turned on his wrist light. The walls of the cave were not natural. They were smooth, with strange lines carved into the stone. The air smelled different, like burned metal and dust. The sound grew louder. He followed it step by step. He walked into the darkness. The tunnel went down. The hum turned into a pulse like a heartbeat. It called to him. After 10 minutes of walking, Rek found something half buried in the ground. A smooth black object the size of a helmet. It had glowing blue lines and pulsed with every sound. He knelt beside it. "What are you?" he whispered. He touched it. The moment his hand made contact, the cave lit up with a soft blue glow. Symbols appeared on the walls, moving, shifting. Rek fell back, shocked. The object floated into the air and spun slowly. Then, the pulsing stopped. For a few seconds, there was silence again. And then a voice, a strange, broken voice, like it was speaking through broken glass, an echo carrier. "Found. Vault. Awakening." Rek stared at the object. His heart beat fast. "Vault. What vault?" he said out loud, but the object gave no answer. Suddenly the ground shook. Small stones fell from the ceiling. Something below them was moving. Rek that backed away. The black object gently dropped back to the ground and went silent again. He picked it up carefully. It felt warm. He put it in his pack and ran back through the tunnel. When he reached the surface, the sky had turned dark red. The storm was coming. He ran to a hidden cave where he kept his supplies. It was a small room carved from stone. There was food, water, an old sleeping pad, and a worn-out terminal. He sat down and placed the object in front of him. He turned on the terminal and tried to scan it. But the system froze. "No records found," the screen said. "Unknown tech." He stared at the glowing lines. The object pulsed once, then again. Slowly, a map appeared on the wall. It showed the planet from above, then zoomed in. A new point appeared deep underground, far from the surface. Under it, 3 alien symbols flashed again and again. Rek didn't know the language, but he understood one thing. That place was real, and he was meant to find it. But what was there? Why did the object call him carrier? What was waking up? He leaned back. His heart was still racing. Something deep inside him knew this was not just an old alien relic. It was more, something powerful, something buried for a reason. Outside, lightning flashed in the sky. Inside, the device glowed like it was alive. Rek didn't sleep that night. He just watched it, waiting to see what it would do next. The sky was dark over the wasteland planet. Winds blew dust across the empty ground. There were no cities, no life, just silence. But under that silence, something old waited. Rek Solas ran across the rocks, breathing hard. He wore a torn black jacket and carried a small energy pistol. His boots kicked up sand as he moved fast, trying not to fall. Behind him, high above, in the clouds, a bounty hunter drone searched with red lights. If it found him, it would call others. Rek had no time. He jumped into a crack in the ground and rolled under a stone ledge. His back hit the cold wall. He waited, holding his breath. The drone passed overhead. Its light blinked once, then disappeared into the clouds. Rek stayed still for a few more minutes. Then, he let out a breath and looked around. He was inside a narrow cave. He had not seen it before. Maybe it saved his life, but then he heard something, a low hum, a strange sound, like music from far away. It came from deeper inside the cave. He stood up and turned on his wrist light. The walls of the cave were not natural. They were smooth, with strange lines carved into the stone. The air smelled different, like burned metal and dust. The sound grew louder. He followed it step by step. He walked into the darkness. The tunnel went down. The hum turned into a pulse like a heartbeat. It called to him. After 10 minutes of walking, Rek found something half buried in the ground. A smooth black object the size of a helmet. It had glowing blue lines and pulsed with every sound. He knelt beside it. "What are you?" he whispered. He touched it. The moment his hand made contact, the cave lit up with a soft blue glow. Symbols appeared on the walls, moving, shifting. Rek fell back, shocked. The object floated into the air and spun slowly. Then, the pulsing stopped. For a few seconds, there was silence again. And then a voice, a strange, broken voice, like it was speaking through broken glass, an echo carrier. "Found. Vault, awakening. Rek stared at the object. His heart beat fast. Vault, what vault? He said out loud, but the object gave no answer. Suddenly the ground shook. Small stones fell from the ceiling. Something below them was moving. Rek. That backed away. The black object gently dropped back to the ground and went silent again. He picked it up carefully. It felt warm. He put it in his pack and ran back through the tunnel. When he reached the surface, the sky had turned dark red. The storm was coming. He ran to a hidden cave where he kept his supplies. It was a small room carved from stone. There was food, water, an old sleeping pad, and a worn-out terminal. He sat down and placed the object in front of him. He turned on the terminal and tried to scan it, but the system froze. No records found, the screen said. Unknown techie stared at the glowing lines. The object pulsed once. Then again. Slowly a map appeared on the wall. It showed the planet from above, then zoomed in. A new point appeared deep underground, far from the surface. Under it, 3 alien symbols flashed again and again. Rek didn't know the language, but he understood one thing. That place was real, and he was meant to find it. But what was there? Why did the object call him carrier? What was waking up? He leaned back. His heart was still racing. Something deep inside him knew this was not just an old alien relic. It was more, something powerful, something varied for a reason. Outside. Lightning flashed in the sky. Inside. The device glowed like it was alive. Rek didn't sleep that night. He just watched it, waiting to see what it would do next. Rek Solas lay on the cold floor of the vault, breathing hard. His hands trembled. His skin felt like fire, and strange shapes still danced behind his eyes. The moment he touched the black crystal, everything had changed. He had seen memories, not memories, something deeper, visions of a forgotten war. Huge ships tearing through space, worlds turning to ash, and in the center of it all, the same black crystal, glowing with terrible energy. He sat up slowly, blinking. The vault around him was silent again. The lights had dimmed. The floating artifact, the one that brought him here, now rested on the pedestal. Calm and still. But Rek wasn't the same anymore. He could feel it. Something was inside him now. Something not human. He looked at his hands. A faint blue glow moved under his skin, like liquid light flowing through his veins. He touched the side of his face. His eyes burned slightly, as if something inside was watching the world differently. What did you do to me? He asked the empty room. The black crystal gave no answer. But Rek already knew. The vault had chosen him. The moment he touched it, it had opened a door into his body, into his mind. He was no longer just Rek Solas. He was the carrier now. But carrier of what? He stood up and walked around the chamber. The walls were covered in strange devices, floating crystals, and panels with alien symbols. Some of them blinked slowly, others didn't move at all. The air buzzed softly. At the far end of the chamber, he saw a large door. Unlike the one he entered through, this one looked thick and sealed shut. On it was the same glowing symbol he had seen in his vision, the mark of the weapon. He walked closer. The floating artifact lifted itself again, moved toward the door, and gently tapped it. The seal glowed. Slowly the door hissed open, revealing a long corridor lit with soft blue lights. Rek took a deep breath and stepped through. The corridor curved downward. He moved carefully. As he walked, the walls began to change. Pictures carved into stone appeared. He stopped and studied them. Carvings told a story. He saw tall alien beings, strange but graceful, holding crystals in their hands. Behind them, massive machines hovered above planets. Then came chaos, those same machines burning cities, pulling stars from the sky. The tall beings began to fall. War, fire. Then silence. The last image showed one lone figure, small with human-like features, standing before a vault, holding a crystal just like the one Rek had touched. "Is that me?" he whispered. He turned and continued. The corridor ended in another chamber, smaller but filled with energy. At the center stood a large console, shaped like a half-moon. As Rek stepped near, the symbols lit up. A voice spoke again, now less broken. "Carrier confirmed. Vault interface unlocked. Final weapon status dormant. Power source stabilizing. Warning, activation may breach galactic treaty limits." Rek frowned. Galactic treaty. This vault was older than the Federation. Older than any treaty. How could it even know what was happening in today's galaxy? He touched the console. A new hologram appeared. It showed a star system not far from this planet. It zoomed into a space station orbiting a gas giant. The name on the side read, Fedcom Deepwatch 7. Then another image appeared, Federation ships, listening stations, surveillance satellites. They had detected the vault's activation. Rek cursed under his breath. "They know I'm here." The system beeped. Federation probe detected orbit breach in 4 hours. Rek's time was running out. He backed away from the console and returned to the vault's center chamber. The artifact hovered again, waiting silently. He stared at the black crystal one more time. It was still now, but its power was real. He had felt it, and somehow it had only just begun. He placed his hand over it but didn't touch. "No more visions," he whispered. "Not yet." Suddenly, a different sound echoed from the tunnel behind him. Footsteps. Rek pulled out his energy pistol and crouched, low. He wasn't alone anymore. Rek Solas held his breath. He could hear footsteps. Slow, careful, not loud but heavy. Not human. He crouched near one of the dark pillars in the vault chamber and gripped his energy pistol tightly. The blue lights on the wall flickered, as if they also sensed danger. The sound of boots on stone grew closer. Then a beam of white light swept across the room. Federation soldiers. Rek stayed low and watched. 3 armored troopers entered the vault. Their suits were black with silver shoulder pads, marked with the sharp symbol of the Galactic Federation. Their helmets glowed with scanning lights. Behind them floated a recon drone, scanning the walls, humming softly. "He's here," one of the soldiers said. "The energy trail is fresh." Another soldier knelt beside the pedestal. "It's real," she said. "The vault's active." The third looked round slowly. "Find the rogue. Shoot to stun." Orders from high command. Rek's mind raced. He couldn't fight them all. Not here. Not now. But he also couldn't let them take the vault. He crawled quietly along the edge of the chamber. His pulse was fast. One wrong move and he was dead. Then something strange happened. The floating artifact, the one that brought him here, suddenly glowed bright blue and zipped into the air. The soldiers turned toward it. What the filthy artifact let out a loud hum, then fired a shockwave across the chamber. The drone exploded in midair. Sparks flew. The soldiers were thrown back against the walls. Rek didn't wait. He sprinted across the floor, jumped over a fallen pillar, and ran down the corridor he came from. Behind him, one soldier shouted, "Target on the move." Blaster shots hit the walls. He kept running. The tunnel shook again as another wave of energy burst from the vault. Rek didn't understand what the artifact was doing, but he knew one thing: it was protecting him. He reached the outside platform and jumped onto his hoverbike. Dust swirled in the wind. The sky above was full of gray clouds, glowing with a strange light. He gunned the engine and sped across the desert. Behind him, Federation ships landed near the canyon. He saw one of them release a small fighter drone into the air. He was being hunted now. Officially, he rode 4 hours across the wasteland. His mind was spinning. Why did the artifact protect him? How did it know when to attack? He stopped near a tall rock and hid behind it. He checked the artifact. It floated quietly again, glowing softly. Then it spoke. "Carrier status confirmed. Hostile life forms rejected. Vault memory partially unlocked." Rek frowned. "What does that mean?" A small blue light appeared above the artifact, showing an image of memory. He saw an ancient alien city floating in the sky. It was beautiful, shining towers, peaceful music, people walking in long robes. Then a shadow fell over it. A dark ship appeared. Huge, silent. Then it fired. The city vanished in fire. The vision ended. Rek stared in silence. "That was your home?" he asked softly. "That's what you lost?" The artifact gave no answer, but something inside Rek clicked. He wasn't just carrying a weapon. He was carrying a piece of history, a memory of a lost people, and the Federation had no idea what they were walking into. Suddenly, his wrist blinked. It was an old, encrypted signal, one he hadn't used in years. He opened the channel. A woman's voice came through. "Rek Solas, I know you're alive. This is Captain Rhea Voss. You're in danger. Federation Command has issued a kill order." He froze. Rhea. She was an old friend, once a soldier, now a fugitive like him. "I've seen the vault signals. I know what you found," she said. "Meet me at the Black Ridge Canyon. Sunset. We don't have much time." The shut off. Rek looked at the artifact. "Looks like you and I have a long ride ahead." He turned the hoverbike and sped into the stormy wind. The Federation wasn't going to stop, and now they were not just chasing a rogue. They were chasing the last living connection to an ancient alien power, one that might be waking up too fast for anyone to control. Rek Solas rode hard across the dry land. The wind hit his face like knives. Storm clouds chased him from behind. The artifact floated beside his bike, glowing brighter with every passing hour. Something was coming. He could feel it in his bones. The sun dipped low in the sky. Rek reached the edge of Black Ridge Canyon. Sharp rocks stood like teeth. A narrow path led down into the darkness. He stopped his bike and waited. A voice called out from the rocks above, "Still alive?" Rek didn't think you'd make it. He looked up and saw Captain Rhea Voss standing tall with a blaster rifle on her back. She wore old Federation armor, scratched and faded. Her face was hard, but her eyes showed a trace of the friendship they once had. Rek nodded. "Barely. They're after me." "I know," she said, climbing down. "I saw the energy spikes. Vault-Tec, right?" He showed her the artifact. Her eyes widened. "I thought the vaults were just stories." "They're not," Rek said. "And this one isn't empty." They moved into a cave hidden in the canyon wall. Rhea activated a field that blocked scans. Inside, small lights flickered. There was food, water, and an old map table. Rek placed the artifact in the center. The room lit up. That artifact floated and spun, then projected a huge hologram. An alien war. Ships crashing into planets, machines turning moons into fire. And a weapon, a crystal like the one Rek touched, cutting through entire fleets. Rhea stepped back. "What is that?" the past Rek said. "This weapon destroyed entire civilizations. The vault builders sealed it away so it could never be used again. And now you've awakened it, she whispered. I didn't mean to, but now, it's inside me. I feel it growing stronger every hour. Rhea looked at him. What do you mean, inside you? Rek lifted his sleeve. Blue light moved beneath his skin like living fire. I touched the core, he said, and it touched me. Back. Rhea was silent for a long time. Then she said, do you know what this means? The Federation will never let you live. They'll see you as a threat to the entire galaxy. I know, Rek replied. But there's more. He pointed to the hologram. Another image appeared, an ancient enemy. Huge black ships, no life. Signs, no voices, only machines. Their symbol, a spiral of burning stars. They're coming back. Rhea stepped forward. Those are the ones who destroyed the vault builders. Yes, the artifact is waking up because it senses them. They're close, but it's been centuries. They were never gone, Rek said. Just sleeping, like the vault. Now both are waking. And no one is ready. A warning beep echoed from the corner of the cave. Rhea checked the scanner. Federation ships 5 clicks out. They've tracked the vault's energy again. Rek grabbed his gear. We can't fight them. No, Rhea said. But I know someone who can help. There's an old group of Federation scientists. They believed the vault stories. They've gone dark for years. If anyone can understand this power, it's them. We're at Moon 6 of the Targon system, she said. But it's far, and full of patrols. Rek looked at the artifact. It glowed softly. He felt a pulse inside his chest again. The same strange energy. It was stronger now. I don't know how long I have before this power takes over, he said. It's not just a weapon. It's alive. I feel it whispering to me. Rhea touched his shoulder. Then we better get moving before it's too late. Outside, thunder rolled. The Federation was closing in. Inside the cave, the shadows of an old war had returned, and in the middle of it all stood one rogue human, half outlaw, half legend, carrying the only power that could either save the galaxy or destroy it. The stars above the Targon system were quiet. Too quiet. Rek Solas sat inside a small, stolen cargo ship with Rhea Voss at the controls. The ship rattled as it flew through an asteroid belt. Alarms blinked every few minutes. Their fuel was low. Their time was shorter. But none of that worried Rek. What worried him was the growing pain in his chest. The alien energy inside him was changing every hour. He felt less human. His skin glowed faint blue, and sometimes his thoughts weren't even his own. He could hear whispers, cold, echoing voices in a language he never learned but somehow understood. The artifact floated. Beside him, it glowed with a steady light, always connected to him now. It was like a piece of his soul had been carved out and placed inside that strange alien machine. How far are we? He asked. 20 minutes, Rhea said. They'll be waiting. Will they help? If they still remember who we are. Outside, space twisted. Small shadows flickered in the distance. Rek felt it again, a chill that wasn't physical, a pressure in the back of his mind. They're coming, he whispered. Rhea looked at him. The Federation. No, Rek said. Worse. Suddenly, alarms screamed. 3 ships dropped out of warp ahead of them, massive, dark, and silent. They didn't match any known design. No lights, no windows, no transmissions. Only a black spiral burned into their hulls. Rek stared at them. That's them, he said. The machines from the vision. The ships didn't fire. They just moved closer. Rek grabbed the artifact. It glowed brighter, reacting to their presence. Then a deep voice filled the cockpit, not through speakers but directly into their mind's carrier. Detected. Host soul active. Prepare for collection. Rhea flinched. They're in my head. They're not ships, Rek said. They're alive, like the artifact. They don't talk. They connect. One of the enemy ships opened like a flower. A bright red light aimed toward them. Rek touched the artifact. I'll stop them. You can't, Rhea shouted. You don't even know how. I don't need to know, it knows. He stood and stepped to the center of the ship. The walls vibrated. The lights flickered. The artifact floated high above his head, spinning faster than ever. A blue shield formed around the cargo ship just as the enemy beam fired. The light hit, but didn't break through. Rek cried out. His body was burning from the inside. He felt like he was being pulled apart, part human, part energy. The enemy voice spoke again. You are not ready. You are weak. Give us the core. But Rek didn't stop. He raised his hands, and blue light shot from his palms, raw energy, pure and ancient. The beam hit one of the black ships and tore through its center. No explosion, no fire. It just disappeared. The other 2 ships backed away. The light in Rek's hands faded. He dropped to his knees, gasping. Rhea ran to him. Rek, can you hear me? He nodded slowly. I'm okay. But it's getting stronger. I don't know how long I can control it. She helped him to his feet. We have to get you to the scientists now. The cargo ship raced past the stunned enemy and entered the atmosphere of Targon Moon 6. Down below, hidden inside mountains, was a secret base, dark, quiet, and full of people who had been waiting for something like this for years. As the ship landed, Rek felt the whispers in his mind grow silent. For now, but he knew the truth. This wasn't the end. It was just the first move in a game older than the stars. The secret base on Targon Moon 6 was quiet from the outside but deep underground. It buzzed with energy. Rek Solas walked slowly through long metal corridors, guided by Captain Rhea Voss and 3 scientists in grey robes. His legs felt heavy. The power inside him pulsed stronger with each step. His hands glowed faint blue, and the alien whispers had returned louder than ever. The base's leader, Dr. Halric Dane, met them in the central chamber. "I never thought the vaults were real," Dane said, eyes wide. "But the artifact, the energy inside you, this changes everything." Rek nodded. "We don't have time for stories. They're coming." Dr. Dane led him to a round room filled with ancient alien tech collected and studied for years. At the center stood a circular platform with black veins running through it, just like the vault walls. "This is a harmonic interface," Dane said, "built to connect human minds to alien systems, but we never had a true carrier. Until now." Rhea looked at Rek. "Can you control it?" Rek shook his head. "I'm not sure I'm the one in control anymore." But he stepped onto the platform. The artifact floated from his hands and locked into place. The entire room glowed blue. Machines came to life, screens, symbols, lights. Then a map appeared in the air, not just of the planet, not just the system, the whole galaxy. Red marks appeared in MA ships, not 3, not 10. Thousands, moving from deep space, silent and deadly. "They're activating," Rek said softly. "They're ready to finish what they started centuries ago." Dr. Dane pointed to the largest red mark. "This is the command ship. If we take it out, the rest might fall." "But how?" Rhea asked. "No fleet can match them." Rek looked at his hands, now glowing fully blue. "I can." The scientists stepped back. "Rek, if you merge completely with the artifact, you might not survive. You'll become ... something else." "I already am," he said. He turned to Rhea. "If I fail, you run. Get to the Federation. Tell them to prepare. Tell them the stories were true." She stepped forward and placed a hand on his chest. "Come back, Rek." "I'll try." He stepped into the center of the machine. The platform closed around him. The artifact sank into his chest, and the last weapon awakened. His body lifted into the air. Blue light exploded outward, filling the room. His human shape vanished by a glowing figure of energy, covered in ancient alien symbols. His mind reached beyond the stars. He no longer saw with human eyes. He became the weapon. Above Targon Moon 6, the enemy arrived. The sky turned black as ships covered the horizon. They launched beams toward the surface, death in every direction. And then Rek struck. A beam of pure blue energy shot from the planet, slicing one enemy ship in half. He moved like lightning across space, destroying dozens within seconds. His voice echoed inside their systems, blocking their signals, bending their machines. He had full control now, but the closer he came to the command ship, the harder it got. The enemy AI fought back, trying to take over his mind, searching for weakness. "You are alone," the voice hissed. "You are human. You will fail." Rek pushed deeper. He reached the center of the ship and saw it, a dark, pulsing core. Not just metal, but alive. A mind of cold logic and war. He wrapped himself around it, and he burned on the moon below. Rhea and the scientists watched the sky light up with fire. Then dash silence. No more red dots on the map, just a blue light, and then that too faded. Rek was gone. Days later, the Federation arrived. Rhea gave them everything, data recordings. Truth, they didn't believe her at first, but then, across the galaxy, old vaults began to activate. New symbols appeared, messages from long-lost alien races, warnings, hope. And one signal repeated again and again in the quiet. "The carrier still watches.